1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
53 home runs and 138 runs batted in the 2013 season. Now here's a look at the Fox 45 weather forecast.
Your Fox 45 forecast. Warm with temperatures well into the upper 70s, but we are tracking the potential for downpours, damaging wind gusts, isolated tornadoes.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular NEWSMAX Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of NEWSMAX shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the NEWSMAX Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Latest poll. It's fun, it's fast, and let us know what you want more of on WCBM.com.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey, kids, it's already Wednesday. What is it? The 11th of March. It's going to be another Friday the 13th on Friday. And we have a couple in a row here. What's the deal with all the Friday the 13th? Is something going on? Something going on with the planets and whatnot? Anyway, welcome to the show. You know why I know that Donald Trump is on the right side of history on Iran, the Save America Act, the southern border, and all of his policies? Because the same characters who have been wrong about everything are against it. The same leftist media that has been wrong about everything is against it. The same usual suspects like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are against it. And they've been wrong about everything. And they've been on the wrong side of history with CNN and the mainstream media for decades, let alone the last 10 years of Donald Trump. So this is why I am quite comfortable in my support of what we're doing in Iran, support of Donald Trump's economic policies, support of the closed southern border, support of the SAVE Act, again, because all of the people who've been so terribly wrong, and I might add also, have driven the country into the pits of hell, are lining up against him. So there you go. Ta-da! Ta-da! Here is our Secretary of War. What good is it for? Well, it's for kicking the Ayatollah's butt. But here is the Secretary of War talking about the latest phase in the Operation Epic Fury.
Today will be, yet again, our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles they've been capable of firing yet.
Because we blew all their missiles up.
Just the bifurcation, just the trend lines that we talked about. On our
bifurcation has nothing to do with your sexuality, Democrats. Just want you to know.
First briefing. You see, this is not 2003.
There are no non-binary missiles in this conflict.
This is not endless nation building.
Really?
Under those
that's not what the Viewcast says. Like anybody gives a damn what they have to say about war.
Types of quagmires we saw under.
Oh my God, no! Let's get the Viewcast their opinion on the Epic Fury. Yeah, we want to hear for that. Like right before they have a celebrity on and talk about summer salad recipes.
Bush or Obama. It's not even close.
Oh my God!
Our generation.
Let's get the Today Show cast to do it next.
Soldier will not let that happen again, and nor will this president, who very clearly ran against those kinds of never-ending, nebulously scoped missions.
Yeah, because he's different than the other presidents who have just basically really jacked around our troops. And I know a lot of these troops. They literally since Iran, bombed the barracks, our Marine barracks in 1980 on my birthday. Since the Iranian takeover, they've been beast-slapping the rest of the world. And we have had presidents, including Ronaldus Maximus, who Rush used to say about Ronald Reagan, didn't do a damn thing about Iran after they blew up the barracks. And then we've had feckless, awful leadership everywhere since. You had George W. Bush, got us into a 20-year war. We've got Barack Obama and Joe Biden, who performed acts of, I'll just say, financial gratification on their knees before the Ayatollah. All of those things have resulted in failure and death. And Donald Trump is the only president who ever has taken it this way, and is doing something that is successful with, by the way, a plan. Okay, while we were in Afghanistan, was there ever, here is the goal line, here's where we're going to be, or was it another year, we're here another year, we're going to keep things going? Was there ever an exit strategy? Was there ever this is why we're here? No, not one little bit. Donald Trump came in and said, we are going to get this over in 4 to 6 weeks, and here is what Marco Rubio says we want to accomplish.
It's important to continue to remind the American people of why it is that the greatest military in the history of the world is engaged in this operation.
Please tell, by the way, Chuck Schumer, Liz Warren, because yesterday they said they didn't have any idea.
It is to destroy the ability of this regime to launch missiles, both by destroying their missiles and their launchers, destroy the factories that make these missiles, and destroy their Navy.
Oh, there you go.
I think we are all seeing right now the threat that this clerical regime poses to the region and to the world. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are attacking their neighbors. They are attacking neighboring countries, their energy infrastructure, their civilian population. They're attacking embassies. This is a terrorist government. This is a terroristic regime.
They have been for 47 years.
And we are seeing them conduct terrorism using nation-state elements, using weapons like missiles and one-way attack drones. And the objective of this mission is to destroy their ability to continue to do that.
Well, that's pretty easy. That's pretty self-explanatory. But Liz Warren, how high are you? Ho, hi, he, ho. Yesterday, she didn't hear any of that in a 2-hour briefing.
Here we are, well into the second week, and it is still the case that the Trump administration cannot explain the reasons that we
just did there, right there.
This war, the goals we're trying to accomplish, and methods for doing it.
The methods we're kind of showing that. You just turn on the news, you can see them.
The one part that seems clear is that while there is no money for 15 million Americans who lost their health care.
Well, I thought you fixed health care with Obamacare, woman. What the hell? It was like 16 years ago. You fixed it with Obamacare.
There's $1 billion a day to spend on bombing Iraq.
Oh, my God. Her act just gets so old after a while. To be her husband is like Groundhog Day every day. My God. Here is Caroline Leavitt on why Democrats can't get behind our troops, can't honor our troops, can't admire our troops, can't go, wow, they're doing a great job, risking their lives for a whole lot less than that woman gets paid to do nothing.
Have people forgotten just how imminent that threat was? If they keep saying death to America and death to Israel, they mean it.
Look, I don't think the American people have forgotten, but I think Democrats on Capitol Hill, they have not forgotten, but they are just so plagued with this resistance to President Trump on everything that they do.
That's true,
that, again, they can't even rally behind the common sense, bipartisan, long-standing principle of the United States of America.
Because if we went over there, then Donald Trump is on his watch, and they can't stand that. So they'd rather have people live in bondage. They'd rather have another generation of women in Iran, living in slavery.
That Iran absolutely poses a threat to the United States, that Iran is the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, and I think that's reflected again.
All of those things are true.
In their voting pattern. In 2023, every single member of the House of Representatives, with the exception of one, I believe the final vote was 412 to 1 in 2023 for a resolution condemning Iran as the world's state leading sponsor of terror.
That would mean a whole lot of Democrats believe that.
And now in this year, under this president, in 2026, 53 Democrats voted against that exact same resolution.
Because Trump.
With the exact same language. I don't think that's a change in the threat that Iran has posed to the United States. No. I think it's a change in the Democrat Party's thinking and their vicious hatred for President Trump.
Big mistake by the Iranian regime to start targeting its neighbors right away, exposing who they are and what they're all about, indiscriminate targeting, flailing recklessly at the beginning. I can't say that we anticipated necessarily that's exactly how they would react, but we knew it was a possibility. And I think it was a demonstration of the desperation of that regime then and that regime now, that they still think their pathway out is to try to alienate their Arab partners even more, who've instead decided to come to us.
Those jets are fully loaded with missiles and bombs, and they are a world-class team combined with the naval aviation.
Well, that's not what the Democrats say about our military.
And the aviators in those jets. This beautiful symphony of American spirit is,
I know, it's kind of awesome,
the definition of
da 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 da. Pow, 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 pow.
perfectly organized chaos. These are dedicated young people who take the road less traveled to serve their great nation.
The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
That's true.
The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable.
Yeah, see? It's that simple right there. You didn't even need a briefing yesterday. You could have just watched the news and heard some press conferences or listened to this show. This is Jim Gossett as the president.
Little ditty about bombing Iran. Preemptive strikes was part of their plan. The Ayatollah is history. We'll get them all. Just you wait and see. Our military got orders from me, and we got help from our friend BB. Unlike Biden, I did not appease and let the Iranians do as they please. Hey, Iran, you're gonna regret it.
I think they are.
Killed your own people, and we won't forget it.
Jim doesn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. Life goes on.
Except for the Ayatollah.
Long after the mullahs in Iran are gone. Deserve just what they got. Let's turn Iran into a parking lot.
I think that sounds awesome.
Little ditty about bombing Iran and putting their leaders in a trash can.
That is Jim Gossett. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. The Ayatollah, the new leader, has the charisma of a boiled potato, is what one Iranian is saying, and also he is not doing appearances in public. A friend of mine who is just happens to be an Iranian expat says he's in a coma. He's in a coma. We've got that. We've got CNN doing a total butt kiss of terrorists, attempted terrorists in New York City. We got great guests on the show today. All we need is you. Oh, I guess you're already there. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Texting roles you know recurring automated marketing text messages consent are required to purchase message data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Eugenics Total T2.
Going to end this war. Iran will define and will determine when this war ends. So clearly, the Iranians believe that right now they are entrenched. They see that they've replenished their leadership.
We've got a math problem here. Regime change didn't happen. The son of the Ayatollah might be worse than the dad. The president said that wasn't the case. He just left. So I don't see from a strategic perspective what was accomplished.
It took us 10 years to get them.
Last summer we obliterated the dad. Didn't happen. We've got a math problem here.
Deported. Deported.
Orient has 6 different assisted living communities out in the Baltimore area. These are as follows: Orient Bel Air, Orient Downtown, Orient Encore, Orient Outreach, Orient Carmichael, and Orient Mount. Each of them have a unique feature that really benefit your loved one if you are looking for
Get them out. Ready?
Visit
Are you
our
ready?
website
Get them
today
out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on it. And sometimes that's how it feels when you're going through tough times.
Have taken control.
You have trouble sleeping.
They now
Maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help.
Changes
Lots of people are struggling with their mental health.
It's
more common than you think.
a matter
The good news is
of
there are
when.
people in our community who are here for us
Jake
when times
Tapper
are tough.
and Anderson
Sometimes
are facing the axe, and Stelter will get canned again. It's over, my friend, for libs at CNN. Should clean house today at CNN. They announced layoffs at NBC News as their ratings continue to tank. Viewers are leaving that network in droves, and they have wokeness to thank. A new lineup at CNN. That is money in the bank. Fire everyone and hang on to none. The Elliston should fire everyone.
in another desert hellhole.
How can you look at what's happened in the last year? I mean, you had Trump taking out the nukes back in June. Now you've had the last 10 days. Does anybody really think that these people are ever going to try to make a nuke again? What would they make it with? Like charcoal? I mean, this is an overriding success. Our military is astounding the world. And I agree with what the president said last night.
Yeah.
You look at all the success that we've had in the last 10 days. I mean, this thing is a victory. I think we should be hailing our military as the heroes they are. We ought to be thanking them for their service. And we ought to be saying we've achieved our objectives here. Big time.
You would think, actually, but the Democrat Party is so anti-Trump, no matter what he does, they're just going to take the opposite tack regardless. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. The narco drug boats bringing in fentanyl and other drugs that kill hundreds of thousands of Americans, those are innocent fishermen. Those are innocent fishermen. The southern border closing it up. No credit for Donald Trump. No credit for the fact that the murder rate is down to the lowest rate in 126 years. You can go into Washington, D.C., even into Anacostia. You can push around a baby stroller and not get shot, for God's sake. The economy is turning around. Inflation has flatlined. $18 trillion of new investment coming into the country, for goodness sake. What really? No. That's your Democrat Party. And this is the lowest of the low. This is the lowest of the low, when they will demean our troops in harm's way and act like they're not kicking ass and taking names, because they are. And right now, Iran, they've scrambled. They got a new supreme leader, the Mojtaba Khomeini, a no-show at his succession rally. They had a cardboard cutout of the guy. You know why? Because a friend of mine who actually is my doctor and an expat from Iran says that the old Ayatollah is in a comatola. Yeah, he's in a hospital in a comatola. Here is Chuck DeVore talking about the new Ayatollah.
Well, certainly he's trying to move from place to place. He probably doesn't sleep in the same place more than once, because of the exceptional intelligence that our Israeli allies have. And to your point, he is a double betrayal of the 1979 Islamic Revolution. He was not even trained well enough to be an Ayatollah. He's only a mid-range cleric, number one. And number two, as you pointed out, dynastic succession. He's a Nepo baby.
With the accent on die in the dynastic.
So that's a double betrayal of the whole concept of the 1979 revolution. Yeah. All you have now, Jesse, is the equivalent of a mafia family, very corrupt, with a little bit of a patina of religion over it.
There you go. This is a guy named Khosrow Isfani, and he is a secretary of the Supreme National Security. No, that's not it. That's not him. He is the research director for the National Union for Democracy in Iran. Here's what he has to say about the new Ayatollah who's in a comatola.
So on Mujtaba, you rightfully mentioned we are dealing with an impotent cleric who has the charisma of a
he can't get his missiles up.
Boiled potato, who had no political life whatsoever until he was named
more like a French fried potato
supreme leader. There is a single video of him speaking in which he stutters and cannot even deliver a clear message.
Death to America.
He was appointed and named, not voted, as the new supreme leader. He was not even able to show up for his party. He was hiding in a bunker. What they had...
Or he's in a comatola. Here's what has to happen in Iran now.
There are three key elements. One, continue striking the regime's leadership. Just taking Khamenei out is not enough. Right now, there are multiple names, including Ali Larijani, the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, and the Parliament Speaker, Ghalibaf. These two men have been trying to stabilize the regime. They did the same thing during the 12-day war. Two is striking the regime's arms of oppression. Striking a couple of military targets, it's not enough. We need to go after the regime's arms of oppression and three ties in with the first two. Enable the Iranian people to take back their homeland. They have been fighting this regime since its inception. My family has been on the front lines of this fight. I have been continuing that inside the country until 2021 when I left. Millions of Iranians have been on the front line.
And they depend on us, and we are witnessing history. And the Democrat Party literally would be willing to rebuild the Berlin Wall and would mourn Hitler's suicide. That's your Democrat Party. If Donald Trump were the president in World War II or in 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell. Let's take a break and come back. Coming up, Emily Sturge to talk about American protests on U.S. campuses. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed.
Tehran's leaders are crumbling. They're being taken out. Their headquarters are crumbling as the U.S. shows its clout. And that should tell them time to surrender. Call it a day before our troops blow you away. Throw in the towel while you still can, or you'll be down to your last man. More new missiles they were making, with more nukes deployed. Down the sites they have been taken, and we are overjoyed. They ought to know it's time to surrender. White flag should wave. Soon will be nothing left to save.
Every day for 20 years, I devoted myself to making sure my wife and kids were well-dressed and ready to face the world. Meanwhile, Dad over here wore T-shirts and jeans. Now I've discovered Quince. Quince has everyday essentials I love with quality that lasts, like linen bottoms and shorts, Pima cotton, European jersey linen. You're not just paying for brand markup or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing, and I look good. Their clothing is rated between 4.5 and 5 stars by thousands of people wearing it every day. Linen shorts are a go-to. They don't wrinkle when they're not cheap. The clothes I wear look expensive but aren't. When I go out in the evening, and I do now, I'm actually turning heads. It's nice to feel good and look good. Quince does that for me at a price I can afford. Right now, go to quince.com/newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last and don't look good. Go to QUINCE.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Newsmax. women to fall in love with death row inmates, women to fall in love with what's his name, the New York shooter, who killed the banker. I'm drawing a blank on the name. But this is the same kind of pathos, and I think a lot of liberal women are subject to this, are subject to this social contagion, even if it means their own doom. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Luigi Mangione, that's the name.
Yes, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah. You're spot on, and that's the exact reason why so many young women here in New York City voted for Zoran Mamdani, even though they were voting against their own safety. And when you look at our college campuses, that's where young women are. And really, this goes back to our education system absolutely failing to teach young people about the threat that regimes like Iran pose to the United States and even to their own people. And you know what? We've reported so many instances of the rhetoric that university professors have used. After Operation Midnight Hammer, for example, we reported that there was a Georgetown University professor that said that he hoped Iran would carry out strikes on United States military bases.
Unbelievable.
I mean, there was a University of South Florida professor that went on social media, praised Iran, wrote, condolences to Iran. Iran will never die. I mean, the list goes on of the radical rhetoric that we've seen come from our university professors. And once again, that's where our young women are. And now we're seeing truly a generation of leftist radicals indoctrinated with this dangerous ideology on our campuses.
It is... I don't even have any. I don't know. I commented last night on online. Somebody was talking about these people shrieking about whatever these. I do a daily update on the show called the Crazy Liberal Cat Lady of the Day, because they're just freaking nuts. And in New York City, there was a group of them that just went out to a park, I don't know, it was Central Park, just to scream. And there was this old-timey convention in the movies in the 30s and 40s where somebody was becoming hysterical, whether they be a man or a woman, and the person who had better sense standing in front of them, just smacking them in the face and making them go, "What the hell?" And them going, "Oh, I'm sorry." We need some sort of figure out of smack in the face of these people, because they are beyond reason. They are beyond, they are so self-loathing that they don't even recognize their own doom. And I've never seen anything like this before, Emily.
Absolutely. I mean, something that's so concerning right now. I mean, we're worried about threats of indoctrinated, radicalized individuals here in the United States. We're worried about threats of sleeper cells. I mean, we saw just this past weekend, those two ISIS-inspired individuals that threw the bomb at the group of protesters in front of Gracie Mansion.
Yes.
And you know what? I mean, our university campuses are places where these young individuals are radicalized. Our university campuses are hotbeds of radical extremism. And you know what? We need to follow the money. Yeah. Who is funding this extremism on our university campuses?
Yes.
And a lot of times, there's foreign influence.
Of course it is. I want to continue the conversation on the other side of the break. I've got a great piece from Will Kane. I'll share you a little bit about that funding on the other side. And then also Abby Phillips, I like to call her Abby Normal, on CNN had to issue an apology after saying that the terrorists in New York City who were throwing a bomb were attacking Zoran Mamdani because of anti-Islamic sentiment. I know. Makes no sense. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. This is the Rob Carson Show. Not to scare you, but AI has completely changed the cybersecurity game. Scams are smarter, malware is faster, and phishing emails look shockingly real.
Who's funding
Good news, you don't need to be a tech expert to stay ahead. I don't want to tell you about the audio. With WebRoot Total Protection, can you hear my audio? You are protected. Plus, if you're Michelle, you can hear my audio?
I can.
Okay, well, it's not my epic problem. Sorry to be stressed out here, Michelle, but I'm trying to do a show. I'll get text talking about technical aspects of the show. Your computer running. I cannot do what I'm doing a show.
I hear you.
In real time against malware, phishing, ransomware, and other threats. Whether you're working, browsing, or streaming, WebRoot is the antivirus protection that works for you, not against you. Make the switch and feel the difference of truly fast, modern antivirus protection. For a limited time, you can save 60% on WebRoot when you go to webroot.com/Carson. That's 60% off today, but only when you go to webroot.com/Carson. That's webroot.com/Carson.
This is Gil Kuda, a
registered rep of Aegis Capital in Timonium, Maryland. My opinions are my own. Please remember that our discussion will be for informational purposes only. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Listen every Sunday afternoon for On the Money with Gil Kuda, where we review general financial topics like retirement.
and reveals 5
I'm going to get Ralph involved in this period.
Benefits.
We've got to get this
Free
fixed
special
period.
report. NEWSMAX call.
I am very sorry about this because I feel like we're letting you down, and it's not appropriate for you guys to have to go through this. All righty. Anyway. We got a lot of stuff coming up on the show. Again, I'm trying to be an engineer while also doing the show, and it's been a problem. I apologize. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here is Ana Navarro of The View on CNN talking about the potential bombers. You know, we almost had a mass casualty event in New York City caused by two radical Islamists from the what Barack Obama called the religion of peace, which is the opposite of the truth. For the last 26 years or 25 years, we have pretended like, Islam is just great, and there's only a tiny little proportion of people who are members of the Islamic faith who want violence and want to take over the world. Turns out there are a lot more than that. And I got to tell you, the peaceful followers of Islam had better step up to the plate, because you haven't done it yet in 25 years. You haven't done it yet in 25 years. I've got a gentleman who works here who is a Muslim. He's a very good guy, a peaceful man, family man, doesn't subjugate his wife. He's got 2 kids. He's awesome. He's going to have to start making some noise. If the Catholic Church were doing this around the world, I'd be raising holy hell and talking to the Pope and saying, you better get this thing together, because it's getting to be a little bit much. Here is Ana Navarro about the bombers.
Ironic is so. Supposedly, some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York, who was raised.
It wasn't an attempt on Mamdani's life. It was 2 radical Islamists trying to kill some white Christians.
Muslim, was he not? Himself. Yeah. So they're being anti-Muslim and they're finally defending.
So to hold these Islamists accountable for an attempted murder, you're being anti-Islamic because she says the target of the attack was Zohran Mamdani, which is not true.
Mamdani over something.
To be clear, the attack wasn't on Mayor Mamdani. It was on people protesting. It was attacking protesters, people protesting Mamdani.
Right by his house.
To frame it as an anti-Muslim attack would actually completely reverse what happened. Someone who shouted Allah Akbar threw a bomb that didn't go off.
The Republicans are finally doing something.
Oh my God! And honestly, there is no rhyme, there is no reason, there is no intelligence, there is no anything. And by the way, I'm going to continue on the other side of the break with The View. The View, honestly, I think Whoopi Goldberg has said one of the dumbest things ever spoken. Right up there. I mean, way, way, way up there with some of the maybe top 10 dumbest things ever spoken that I'm going to share on the other side of the break. Also going to get into the SAVE Act. John Thune has apparently thrown in the towel on that. There are a number of reasons, I believe, for that. Number one is there are a lot of people, including Republicans, who like the status quo, who like the swamp full of swampy, stinky crap, and hate Donald Trump. But you know what? We're going to have to get rid of them. How's that sound? That's all coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.com.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Get up and get here early.
At Houston's Hobby Airport, those lines have been snaking out the main terminal, down to the baggage claim, and all the way out to the parking garage. The airport is warning TSA wait times could be 3 hours or more.
We tried to allow a little more than 3 hours to get here.
Wow.
I've been waiting in line for about 2 hours now.
Got nothing else to do but wait.
The same story at MSY in New Orleans.
It's long.
And at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta. The TSA's funding expired 3 weeks ago after lawmakers failed to reach an agreement on ICE protocols, triggering a partial Homeland Security shutdown.
This is your Democrat Party. They did it in December. They don't give a rat's behind who suffers, and it is making us suffer. They casualties are their ammunition. Casualties are their ammunition. If people die, so be it. Renee Good, Alex Pretty, a small sacrifice to make. A small sacrifice to make. We'll call it murder by ICE, and then we will forget about it. That's your Democrat Party. Of course, financial casualties, that doesn't matter. People not getting paychecks, and you know, of course, Congress goes ahead and gets paid and whatnot, but they don't care. Financial and physical casualties are their ammunition.
At some airports, 4 hours at some airports, and you wonder why? It's because unscheduled absences among airport security officers have more than doubled since the shutdown.
Gotta do something for a living. Probably drive an Uber.
300 employees have quit.
I mean, they haven't been getting the paycheck. And remember, this is the second round of a shutdown today. So they missed 2 paychecks the first time. I think they've already...
I'll tell you what, I'm so bloody sick and tired of this Democrat Party. Stinking, rotten, filthy, absolutely corrupt. They have stolen trillions of dollars from you and I. They moved to Washington, D.C. They spend their entire lives telling us how to live ours. Here is Chuck Schumer. He is a gargoyle with osteoporosis. I mean, honestly, he should be sitting on the Notre Dame just going sneering at people as they walk in. That's what he looks like. He's a foul human being. And here he is admitting that ICE, by deporting people, and he's lying about what ICE is doing, but ICE deporting people, ICE going after people to remove them because they're here illegally, will remove tens of millions of people from the voter rolls. He's admitting it.
Thank you, Leader Schumer. You recently responded to President Trump's Truth Social post regarding the Save America Act, saying that if he's going to not sign any bills until it's passed, there's the Senate...
I want you to listen to how passionate he is about this. He is, because he realizes that by taking illegals and their numbers off the voter rolls, to take away all the cheating the Democrat Party does, means they will lose in perpetuity because nothing they propose is good.
It's going to be in a total gridlock. Can you just explain, isn't this sort of a stab in the back to the American people who...
It is.
85% of voters support voter ID.
Yeah, 85% of the American people support voter ID to prove they are citizens, to get the right to vote, which is reserved for citizens.
Yes, but their bill isn't voter ID, number one.
Yes, it is.
It is about voter registration.
Yes, and you've got to prove your citizenship to be able to register.
It allows ICE to kick tens of millions of people off the rolls.
No, they have nothing to do with that at all. All they're doing is removing people from the country.
Off the rolls, and they don't tell them until Election Day, and you show up and you say...
He's just making this up.
You're not registered anymore. You're not registered here. You're not...
He's lying. He's absolutely lying.
On the rolls.
Yeah, because we said you've got to prove your citizenship to enjoy the right of a citizen, which is to vote. No one else has that.
And they say, I didn't know that. This is a bill that destroys the country, and it is not about showing ID when you show up to vote. It's about the voter registration rolls, destroying them, purging them.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Letting people know and taking the rights in a algorithm put together by...
Yeah, my God, so unbelievable. Just filthy, rotten, corrupt. I played this yesterday, and I want you to listen to this, because Hakeem Jeffries mentions several scenarios about where ICE agents are. He's wrong about several of them, the houses of worship and the schools and whatnot. But I want you to hear what's the most important to him about where he doesn't want ICE agents who enforce immigration law.
But one of those demands is keep ICE out of sensitive locations. And we've defined that as schools, houses of worship, hospitals.
Okay, schools, houses of worship, hospitals, schools where illegals might have their kids, hospitals where, they might need medical treatment,
and polling sites.
And polling sites. He throws in polling sites there.
We want an explicit prohibition.
Okay. Of all those things, but which one does he focus on?
That ICE can go nowhere near any polling sites in the United States of America. It's one of our demands. We're not going to bend on it.
Oh, my God. Schools, churches, hospitals, where illegals need the required services, all right? But polling places, you go to a hospital because you're sick. You go to a school because your kids go to school there. You go to church to worship. What do you go to a polling place for? To vote. Yeah, there you go. See, they just admitted it. I mean, it is absolutely remarkable. And of course, John Thune. I got to tell you, man. Maybe it's going to take Donald Trump writing an executive order that will be challenged. An executive order that requires you to show an ID when you register to vote. And if anybody does not show their identification, cannot prove their citizenship, they are removed from the voter rolls. Then so be it. So be it. But the American people want this SAVE Act. And here is John Thune throwing his hands up.
We don't have the votes either to proceed, get on.
How is it the Democrat Party, with minorities in both houses, can shut down the damned government, and we can't pass a piece of legislation that guarantees that your vote is yours?
Talking filibuster, nor to sustain one if we got on it. But that is just a function of math, and there isn't anything I can do about that. I mean, I understand the president's got a passion to see this issue addressed, as we all do.
Does he understand that, though?
Well, we've conveyed that to him, but we will continue to make that argument.
I'm just getting kind of tired of the Republican Party whenever they're in power, playing with Marcus of Queensberry rules in an MMA fight and getting their butts kicked, honestly. This is brand new from Jim Gossett as the president.
Listen up to me, John Thune. You must pass the SAVE Act soon. It's time to end it and not defend it. The filibuster.
That's nice.
SAVE Act, we need to pass it. Becoming law is a must. It deals with every facet.
Yes, it does.
Of Democrats we don't trust. Don't drag your feet anymore. Get it off the Senate floor. You can't amend it. You must suspend it. The filibuster.
Yeah, they got to do something. Because, what kind of country do we live in? When 85% of the people want something and the two parties in power will not listen to the will of the people. What in the hell has happened to the country? I am so bloody sick of these people moving to Washington, D.C., spending their entire lives telling us how to live ours, and we are shouting at the rooftops, we want voter ID. They won't do anything about it. I don't know what's going to take. I don't have the wherewithal financially. I don't have the reach that I need to create a movement where we send 1 million people to sit there on the National Mall or before the Capitol and protest this and make a noise they cannot refuse. I don't have that ability to do that. I wish I did. But I live here in D.C., And if there's some people who want to get this started, I will work with you because I'm done with this nonsense. It's amazing. The left can bring out 500,000 people for a No Kings protest with a bunch of pre-made signs and all of this, and we can't create an organic movement that we go to Washington, D.C. and say, do what we say. Do the will of the American people. When is that going to happen? When are they going to start listening to us? This is a gimme. This is a layup, John Thune. This is a layup, Republicans. And it's a bunch of rhinos doing this. Here is Bernie Moreno talking about those people.
For the entire conference, he can't fire. He didn't hire these people. And unfortunately, Laura, I'm just going to be blunt. There's 3 or 4 Republicans that just won't be part of the team. And they row in their own different direction. And unfortunately, Leader Thune has very little leverage over them. Now, we're working through it. Today, we had a very spirited conversation at lunch, and I think we're getting closer to having people realize how important it is for us to deliver on a fundamental promise, which is to secure our elections for the future. So I think we're going to get there. I think we're getting there. And I can tell you, Senator Thune is open to that dialogue. He personally calls some of these senators, but it's very, very difficult when you don't have a lot of leverage.
Well, it's about time you guys started doing something, because we've seen this playbook forever with the Republican Party, and it is no longer acceptable. We got a different president here. We got a president of the White House right now we have fought for 10 years while the establishment tried to put him in jail, tried to kill him, tried to take his fortune,